The salt spray stung Elias Thorne's face as the antiquated seaplane lurched through the turbulent air, its single engine coughing like a consumptive invalid. Elias, a man more comfortable amidst the hushed reverence of towering bookshelves than battling the capricious whims of the ocean, gripped the worn leather armrest until his knuckles turned bone white. He was a librarian, not an adventurer, yet here he was, hurtling towards an island that shouldn't exist, all for a book he wasn't even sure was real. This archive, passed down through generations, contained texts too dangerous, too destabilizing for the world to comprehend. Arcane rituals, forbidden histories, and maps to places best left forgotten. His life was a quiet routine of cataloging, translating, and safeguarding these secrets, a life he cherished until a cryptic message arrived, scrawled on parchment older than the Magna Carta. Isla Perdida, the Codex Serpentis, your inheritance awaits. The message, coupled with a tattered fragment of a map depicting an island shrouded in mist and surrounded by treacherous currents, had shaken Elias to his core. The Codex Serpentis, however, was something new, something terrifying. The fragmented texts hinted at a book containing the origins of life itself, a power that could reshape the world or shatter it completely. His superior, the stoic and enigmatic Master Armand, had reluctantly sanctioned the expedition, but not without a dire warning. Elias, some doors are best left unopened. Some knowledge is too dangerous to possess. Proceed with caution and know when to turn back. The seaplane finally sputtered to a landing in a secluded lagoon, the water a startling turquoise against the backdrop of the island's emerald jungle. This is it, Mr. Thorne, Davies grunted, his eyes scanning the dense foliage. Isla Perdida, hope you brought more than just books. Elias adjusted his spectacles, his heart pounding against his ribs. He had brought a pistol, a compass, and a satchel, filled with translated texts and protective charms. But he knew that none of those could truly prepare him for what awaited him in the heart of this lost world. The island was a vibrant, suffocating ecosystem, a tangled web of prehistoric flora and fauna. Strange, luminous fungi pulsed with an eerie light, illuminating hidden pathways. The air was thick with humidity and the smell of decay, a constant reminder of the island's primal nature. Their journey inland was fraught with peril. They narrowly avoided a stampede of triceratops, their bony frills glistening in the sunlight. They crossed rivers teeming with crocodiles the size of small cars, and they were constantly stalked by unseen predators, their growls echoing through the dense vegetation. Davies, despite his gruff exterior, proved to be an invaluable guide. He claimed to have visited Isla Perdida years ago, drawn by whispers of lost treasure and ancient ruins, but he had returned empty-handed, scarred by what he had seen. "This place changes you, Mr. Thorne," Davies warned, his voice low and gravelly. "It tests your sanity, your will to survive. Don't let it break you." After days of relentless trekking, they finally reached their destination, a crumbling temple, swallowed by the jungle. The temple was built from massive stone blocks, its architecture unlike anything Elias had ever seen. It was a testament to a civilization that had thrived on this island millennia ago, a civilization that had somehow vanished without a trace. Inside the temple, Elias found a chamber filled with ancient artifacts, pottery shards, skeletal remains, and elaborate carvings. In the center of the chamber stood a pedestal, upon which rested a single object, a leather-bound book, its cover adorned with a serpentine symbol, the Codex Serpentis. As Elias reached for the book, a voice echoed through the chamber, a voice that was both ancient and powerful. "But are you prepared to bear its burden?" The voice belonged to Zoltan, a descendant of the island's original inhabitants, a man who had lived for centuries, sustained by the Codex Serpentis. He was gaunt and withered, his eyes burning with an unsettling intensity. He had been waiting for Elias, guarding the Codex from those who would misuse its power. Zoltan revealed the truth about the Codex Serpentis. It was not just a book, but a key to unlocking the latent potential within all living things. The island's prehistoric creatures were not accidents of time, but experiments, creations of the ancient civilization that had once thrived here. They sought to perfect life, to create a world without death or disease, Zoltan explained, but they failed. Their experiments grew out of control, unleashing horrors upon the island. The codex became too dangerous to wield, so they sealed it away, hoping it would never be found. Elias was horrified. The codex was not a source of enlightenment, but a Pandora's box, a gateway to unimaginable chaos. But Zoltan had other plans. He believed that the world needed the codex, that its power could be used to heal the planet, to solve the problems that plagued humanity. He intended to use Elias, the keeper of the unwritten, as a vessel to channel the codex's power and usher in a new era. A struggle ensued, a battle between knowledge and ambition, between the past and the future. Elias, armed with his wits and his knowledge of ancient lore, fought against Zoltan's immense power. Davis, loyal to Elias, joined the fray, his rifle barking in the confined space of the temple. Zoltan, fueled by the codex's power, unleashed monstrous creatures upon them, velociraptors with razor-sharp claws, pterodactyls with wings of steel, and a colossal Tyrannosaurus rex that threatened to crush them all. Elias, drawing upon the protective charms he had brought with him, managed to repel the creatures. He realized that the key to defeating Zoltan lay in the codex itself. He remembered a passage from a translated text, a warning about the codex's limitations. Its power could only be controlled by someone with a pure heart, someone who sought knowledge for the sake of understanding, not for personal gain. He held the book aloft, reciting the ancient incantation, focusing all his will on the island's salvation. The codex pulsed with energy, bathing the temple in a blinding light. The light intensified, engulfing Zoltan and the monstrous creatures. As the light subsided, Zoltan was gone, reduced to dust. The creatures vanished, their forms dissolving into nothingness. The Codex Serpentis, its power spent, crumbled into ash. The island fell silent, the cacophony of prehistoric life replaced by the gentle rustling of leaves. He and Davies returned to the seaplane, their bodies battered and bruised, their minds reeling from what they had witnessed. As they soared above Isla Perdida, leaving its mysteries behind, Elias knew that he could never truly return to his old life. The knowledge he had gained, the horrors he had faced, had transformed him. He was no longer just a librarian, a guardian of forgotten secrets. He was a protector, a shield against the darkness that lurked in the shadows of the world. Back at the Blackwood Library, Elias reported to Master Armand, recounting the events of Isla Perdida. You did what you had to do, Elias, Armand said finally. The Codex Serpentis is gone, its power contained, but the knowledge of its existence remains. We must be vigilant, for there will always be those who seek to exploit the secrets of the past. Elias nodded, his eyes filled with determination. He knew that his journey was far from over. He had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. But the fight for knowledge, the battle against ignorance and greed, would continue until the end of time. He returned to his duties, cataloging, translating, and safeguarding the secrets of the archive.